Hello, Jessica Yorbricks here, back from another review, and today I'm reviewing set number 79122. It is called Shredder's Lair Rescue, has 478 pieces, 5 minifigures, and it retails for $50 in the United States. This is a 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles LEGO set, and it is a Toys R Us exclusive, so you can only get this at Toys R Us if you live in the United States. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I would guess for most of the world that have like Toys R Us stores, it'd probably be the same thing. So now let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so here's the box for the set. You can see it sports the new 2014 Ninja Turtles kind of box design, which is with the little turtles in the corner, with some different positions and facial expressions from the 2013 ones. And you can see right here, the Nickelodeon logo is kind of in this little rectangular box or something like that. And it just shows all the little play features really well. It's a $40 box size, though it's not a $50 box size. And on the back, it shows all the little play features, which are great. And a little comic right there, which is actually kind of elaborate because there's lots of little panels. That's really cool. I like when they have comics on sets. And they also have 2 instruction booklets. One of them does show advertisements for the minifigures of the 2014 line. No surprises here, basically just the 4 sets plus this one. And then one right here shows the advertisements for the sets themselves besides this one. So that is really cool. And now let's take a look at the minifigures. Okay, so here is the first minifigure, and it is Angelo, and this version is actually exclusive to this set because he kind of has this angry face or angrier face, which is great because the other ones, some people said were a little bit goofy because one of them was him sticking out his tongue, which was for the Shell Razor set in that polybag, and the other one was him kind of smiling, which was for the Krang Lab Escape set. But you can see this is actually a really cool version for that reason alone, because it makes him a little bit more serious. His little accessory are these nunchucks, which aren't really anything too special, but it's still good to get a little accessory. You can see his legs right there, which have some very nice printing, but the same as last year's. And you can see the back, his head is a very awesome mold. I still love how they did these Ninja Turtles head molds. And the back has that little shell right there, which are the same as last year's, because there's 2 versions of them. There's the one like this, and then there's the one with an extra strap. Or I think there's actually one with no straps too. And then on the back, there's just kind of this printed shell right here, which looks really cool. So that's it for Angelo. Okay, so the second minifigure is Raphael, and this one is actually exclusive, and I didn't actually recognize that until I actually built the set. And you can see this one has kind of a different one than we've seen from last year, because the last one had all of his teeth showing, and just kind of him like not even showing any of his teeth, but still angry. But this one kind of has some of his teeth showing and half of it's kind of cut off. So I am very impressed that we do get 3 exclusive minifigures in this set. And you can see he has some nice torso and leg printing, same as last year's though. And the back, he has a very nice molded head, just like Michelangelo. A very nice molded turtle shell. And if you take off his headpiece and his shell, you can see he has some very nice printed shell on the back, which is really cool. So now on to the next minifigure. Okay, so here is Shredder, and this version is also exclusive. I'll actually compare the one from last year to this year's. You can see the one from last year is kind of the same version, but with instead like some dark red printing instead of that black printing. And you can see they're a lot alike. And then on the pants, he has black print or black coloring right here. Then on the 2013 one, he had some red printing. So it is a little bit like a palette swap. With even the cape has a purple cape in the new version, and then this one kind of has a dark blue cape. So it is nice to get an exclusive minifigure, but once you take off the little Shredder molded helmet, which looks great, you can see his face is different from the one last year. So you can see the printing right there. So that's really cool. I love getting exclusive facial printing. Sadly, neither one of them have any like back facial printing, but that's okay. This one, of course, came in the Shredder's Dragon Bike set from last year. And then this one is from this set. And you can see the back, he has these kind of like a purple cape, which looks great. And he has this little attachment right here. He's a very detailed minifigure. If you take that off, you can see this attachment in a little bit more detail, which is kind of like a neck plate or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. And his cape is kind of a different cape. I don't even want to say mold, but style. It's not like the one that we usually get, but it's not new to this Shredder. But you get it in this nice purple coloring, which is cool. And the back, he has some nice back printing. Here's his front printing without all of his armor, and he does have these little accessories, which are kind of like his claws. And if you want a better look at the helmet, here is the helmet all taken off and everything like that. So it is a very nice mold. So overall, very detailed minifigure. I think I like this version better than last year's. I think I like the face on last year's better because I don't usually like it when they show their teeth or whatever. So I would probably switch this head out for this one and then use him in the lair set. So now on to the next minifigure. Okay, so here is the next minifigure. This one is called the Robot Foot Ninja. And he has this really cool piece right here, which isn't new. It was used for, Lord Garmadon since 2012. Because remember, he had those double hands, I guess you could say, because he has like kind of like a torso right here, which is this piece. And this is an exclusive character, I guess you could say, but it doesn't have any exclusive printings. So I can't really call it an exclusive minifigure, at least in my book. But you can see the piece right here. You have to take off his torso. And there's kind of this top piece, which is a very nice mold. You can see under there, there's some room to fit the torso, and that's kind of how it fits on. Then there's no back printing or anything, but it does have some rigid mold right here, which is actually really cool. So it is a very detailed piece. And I'll take that bottom part off, and you can't actually fit it onto like legs or anything like that. But you could see, you could kind of make it go on, but it won't stay. But in the sake of showing his little accessories, he has this little katana right here, and he has a shuriken. Of course, I'm not pronouncing that right at all. But those come in that pearl gold color, which isn't new, but still pretty cool to get for those accessories. And then for his torso print, it's the same torso print we've been getting since last year for the foot soldiers. And you can see there's this part right here, and on the back, there's some nice detail right there. So I'm going to put him on once more, and you can see how that fits on and everything. So that is it for this Robo Foot Ninja, and now on to the last minifigure. Okay, so here's the last minifigure. It is this foot soldier right here, and he has this little mace, which is pretty cool. But this is the same one that I think we got in the Krang Lab Escape with the accessory and the printing and everything. And the printing is nothing new. It's the same one that we get basically for all the foot soldiers and foot ninjas and stuff like that. Or actually, there's only one foot ninja, which was the last guy. So for all the foot soldiers, we get this printing besides the one the Shell Razor set for some reason. I don't know why they did that. But you can see the front printing right there, and back printing on his torso, which is really nothing new, like I said. These guys, while they did appear in basically almost all of the 2013 Ninja Turtle sets, they only appear in this for 2014, which is kind of interesting. And that's really it for the minifigure. Nothing too detailed, and it's not an exclusive minifigure at all, but still pretty cool to get. Okay, so here is everything you get in this set. You do get this little brick remover right here, which we've gotten so many times here, brick separator. And you get this little vehicle for Raphael, this little catapult for the foot soldiers, and the actual lair itself. So we'll take a close-up of each one starting now. Okay, so here is Raphael's vehicle. It looks like it's an updated version of the plane from Baxter's Robot Rampage. You can see it has some stickers on the front right there. On the side right here, which is kind of like a caution sign. And on the side right here, which is a little bit like an arrow sign. So it makes it look like it is built from scrap, which is kind of how I believe it is in the show, which is really cool. And it has a seating area right there, but no actual seat. But you could fit Raphael on there just fine. And you see it fits on like that. And there's this little control right there, nothing too special. And there's a thruster on the back, which is kind of where the flame's coming from. And on the bottom, there's this little hook right here, which looks like it's a new piece. And I believe it only comes in Metalbeard Sea Cow, the Prisoner Transporter, and Rescue Reinforcement. So it is a really cool piece. I haven't seen it. It is a new piece for 2014. And on the bottom, you can see there's not really any detail or anything like that. And on the top, there's not too much detail besides the little stickers. The wings do not move or anything like that. They're kind of positioned on there pretty well. So that's it for this little vehicle. Just a cool little throw-in vehicle. It's not as bad as the one from Baxter's Robot Rampage, I feel. So that's really it. Okay, so here's a catapult. Nothing too special here. Just provides like a little play feature, which I'll show in a minute. You can see there's kind of some details with these double cheese slopes in black. Here's the bottom. And what you're supposed to do is put the foot soldier right here, and you could even put some of the turtles, or basically most minifigures out there, and you just put like that, and then he flies out. So yeah, it's not too special, but it is a cool little throw-in to add to the lair. And that's really it for this catapult, and now onto the lair itself. Okay, so here is Shredder's lair, a little bit of an overhead view, and then we'll take a few close-ups. And you can see there's some very nice purple details on the colors on some of the pieces and the stickers. And there's some really cool functions, which I'll show you in a little bit. There's actually some glow-in-the-dark pieces right here, which are some studs, and there's some right there, and then there's some under there. So that's really cool because it does give a glow-in-the-dark look if you do turn off the lights. And there's a little weapon rack under here, And on the side right here, there's some really cool detail with the windows because they're kind of on these little jumper pieces. So they're positioned kind of slanted, not the traditional way we've seen windows and stuff like that. So that gives a really cool look. And you can see on the back, there's some little functions, which we'll get to later. And on the side right here. So here's the bottom of the staircase. There's this little platform right here, which leads up to the staircase. And they have some nice purple tiles right there. And there's actually a play feature with this. There's one that gives it kind of that cool look, which is you pull this part out right here. There's a little lever on the back. And if you pull it out, all the little stair parts fall down. And it reveals this little gear inside, which kind of fell out right now. And you got to get it in quite well. So you see it's hidden under there. And once you put it down, if you push this lever on the back right here, you'll see that the gear is supposed to shoot out. And there you go. It kind of shoots out not too far, but you have to give it a really good push. So let's try that one more time. Let me see. There you go. So it shot out quite well. And that's just a cool little feature, and it gives the staircase a really cool build in particular. And you could actually lower up the staircase, or or make the staircase raise back up by pushing the lever back on the back right here. And you can see the staircase gets put back into place. So that is really cool. I love how they got that little detail right here. On the side right here, there's this little, I guess you could say a jail cell or something like that. So you could stick a turtle in there. And the way they escape from that is just this little side jail cell, I guess you'd say some bars right there, and you push it down and then the jail cell bars kind of collapse so you can make them escape. But the whole back, since it is kind of like a play set, there's no like actual back part, so they could escape from the back, but it's not really meant to be like used that way. So I'll just put Michelangelo in there, and there's actually a little rat detail in there. You can see he fits in like that, and then you put Michelangelo, and you could pop the jail cell door back up again. So just the bars right there. So that's really cool. It's a little fun play feature, and I like how they did the front jail cell bars because they kind of have that little slanted railing piece, and they used some of these little spikes right here and some of Shredder's arms or claws or whatever. So that's cool because they use some jumpers too. So that's a really nice detail. And then on this side right here, it's not really like the same on both sides because there's this little weapon rack right here with these two throwing stars. I forgot their names. I keep on wanting to say shurikens, but I can never pronounce that right. And then there's the katanas right there. And that's really kind of stays put on there like that. But of course, it's just a little weapon rack. So I guess you can make the turtles kind of take their weapons, or the foot soldiers, because this is kind of the Shredder's lair. So the foot soldiers would be taking weapons from there. So on the back, you could see this is kind of the two little parts where you could see the weapon rack and then the little jail cell. And of course, the levers, which I did show earlier. So onto the top, you can see there's Shredder's, I guess his little seat right there, which you can pop Shredder on quite well. It doesn't really mess up his cape because there's some little space on the back right there. You can see that gap. So you just kind of make him sitting down and plop him in right there. You got to be careful though, because the cape could get messed up if you don't put him on just right. So there you go. His cape is not getting messed up. And I love the detail they have with these little windows right here. The only problem is, as you can see throughout this review, the windows do kind of fall off because they're only on these two jumpers. So they're easy to fall off if you kind of knock it down. But they're not a hassle to put back on. And I say that as I'm having a hassle to put it back on. So that's kind of funny. But they're kind of easy to put back on. And again, it's like, look at this. Okay, there you go. You just have to position it right. I wasn't really focusing. But there's these little banners right here which have kind of the Foot Clan sign. And they're on these kind of blue banners, which is kind of like this dark blue. It only came in one other set, which is a Tower of Orthanc in that color. So that's actually really cool to get that. And you can spin Shredder's chair all around. And you can see the back of Shredder's chair. I have these little, I guess you could say some translucent orange pieces. And you can take off his chair. They actually show you taking it off to do this little play feature right here, which is the back of his windows kind of open like that. So you push them open, which is a cool feature. And then you kind of knock him off. So he would be on the jumper right here. And then he falls through the back of his lair. So that is actually a really cool feature too. So there's lots of little play features. And there's actually this nice little detail with kind of, it looks like a moral window, or I forget what it's called, with some of these translucent 1x1 bricks. So that's cool. And a better look at the back right here. So you can see the windows are opening. And of course that window just fell off. And you can see they could open and close. So you could close them from the back, or you could pull them from the back because these little handles right here. So that is it for the set. You can see it has so many little play features. And now on to the final verdict. Overall, this is a fantastic set. I can see this set being especially popular with kids because it just is a fun set overall. There's lots of little play features. Plus, it's the main villain's lair, which is Shredder's lair. And you do get 3 exclusive minifigures, which is the Michelangelo, the Shredder, and then the Raphael, which all have some very nice printing on their faces that are exclusive. But in the sense of Shredder, he actually has some nice printing on his torso and legs and his cape and everything that are exclusive to the set. So that is actually really, really cool. Or he doesn't really have cape printing, but you get what I mean, the actual purple color. And the 2 other minifigures, if you do count exclusive characters, you do get a 4th exclusive minifigure if you do count those, which is this little robot foot soldier or foot ninja. And he only appears in this set because he has this little peripheral right here, which is a lot like Garmadon's. So that's cool if you're really trying to collect all the characters and stuff like that. So you'll kind of need to get this set for him. And I really do love the Shredder's printing. I think even more than the one from last year. And like I said, it is very nice to get the Michelangelo facial printing. And the build is so solid. It looks really, really cool. I love the details with the windows where you can kind of slant them. And there's lots of little play features like the back windows which open and you can kind of flick off the chair, and how they really did the stairs with the play feature with that and the shooting little Technic gear. So yeah, there's very few complaints. I have very few complaints with the set. In particular, it would have been cool to get some exclusive printing on the foot soldier, but I really don't mind that. That's not a huge complaint. But the flimsy little windows do get a little bit annoying, even though they don't happen too much. And it would have been cool maybe to not make this a Toys R Us exclusive. I know that's a really crappy complaint because a lot of people are going to have to pay $5 extra or whatever for the set. But the price per piece ratio is so good. I think it's kind of worth it for that extra $55 compared to the Lego store price, which is $50. So yeah, this set is an A, not perfect, but it's probably one of the strongest Ninja Turtle sets out there. I love these little play sets for Ninja Turtles. So that's it for this review, and I will see you guys later. Bye.